Hello and welcome to SupNerd, the podcast where we talk about gaming, nerd culture, and everything in between. I'm your host and founder of SupNerd, Victoria Cheng. We have a video version of this podcast available on YouTube and MeWatch. So if you want to put a face to our lovely voices, do check those out. The links will be in the description below. So let's get right into this week's episode. I would like to introduce or reintroduce our SupNerd crew. We've got Kym Goh and Gareth Fernandez. Gareth hasn't been on our podcast before, but he's what do you call it? Sort of. You had a name.
I produced it.
No, yes, but you also produced it. No, you had like sort of nerd or.
Oh, I know. Spare nerd.
Spare nerd. Or spare nerd. He's also a singer songwriter. He helped produce this podcast, and he's definitely a nerd.
A big one.
A big one, or a big geek. We, collectively, we all bond over PlayStation. If you can tell, that might be our episode topic today. It's not sponsored, by the way. We just really like PlayStation. So we often have discussions about PlayStation games and what's coming up next. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The games that we're really looking forward to for 2022. I mean, with the PS5 launch last year, we were kind of just...
Year before last, right?
Or year before last.
Very
You're
true.
right. You're right. Man, time is weird during COVID. We have been waiting to see a whole new lineup of PS exclusives. So I think there are a couple titles that we're really looking forward to. So to start off, I think we should just, what are the top PlayStation exclusives that you're looking forward to this year? And
Go for it.
just list them out. Your top.
Okay,
your
cool.
top
So for
couple of
me,
them.
definitely in descending order. So the first one's like the one I must play, God of War Ragnarok, for sure. I've been thinking about it for 4 years, ever since the credits rolled on God of War 4 2018. The next one has got to be Horizon Forbidden West. That's coming out in just a few weeks. And of course, From Software's Elden Ring. So these three are games that I would buy the PS5 for because they are that good, hotly anticipated. They have awards just for being anticipated. And that's crazy, So yeah, I'll be sick when those games come out.
Thanks. Said this to your boss. How about you, Kym?
Yeah, similar. Horizon is super on top of that list. Like the idea of just the world building in Forbidden West and well, I mean in the first one and for Forbidden West is something to look forward to. And the technology, the showcasing of all of the PS5 technology on that game is cool. But not so much Elden Ring for me. I'm looking forward to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the Borderlands spin-off standalone game.
You look like you're about to fight when you
Yeah,
said
I know.
you wanted to
Fighting
Elden Ring.
words.
After this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, sorry, Kim.
But yeah, we can discuss that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Okay, a couple of them. Obviously, Horizon Forbidden West. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We're going to talk about that today.
Yes.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland as well. Kym and I had a lot of fun playing Borderlands together, but Tiny Tina is my favorite character besides Ellie, which is why we named our dog Ellie.
Oh.
Ellie the...
The
I
fat
thought it
chick.
was Ellie for like Last of Us.
For both.
Oh, for both.
For both, but actually it was more Borderlands.
Right.
She's just a really sassy
Yeah.
lady. And Stray, I'm intrigued by Stray. I don't think I'm gonna be diehard into Stray, but I'm really just curious about the gameplay for that. Before going to select titles, just talking about the PS5, how is your experience with it? How does it compare to the PlayStation 4?
I mean, in
Over
terms
the
of
past year, because we were playing PlayStation 4 games,
Right.
The
Yep.
past year. To be honest,
Yep.
after we finished the PS5 exclusives with Ratchet and Clank and stuff, I know some of us went back to PS4 titles. How is it? Was it worth getting the PlayStation 5 early?
definitely,
Or-
like I think
Not early.
I'd say that like the 2021 release, because they released it with all of those like greatest hits from the PS4, it sort of breathed new life into those games. And revisiting all of those PS4 games on a PS5, the like load times were sick. The graphics were so crispy and so smooth. Even Ghost, you'd think like a game that beautiful can't get any beautifuler. And it was amazing. So definitely worth the purchase. Ratchet and Clank was stunning. Like I've always been a fan of that game, and playing it again finally after like however many years, it was just a sublime experience, especially with all the new fancy control things. The haptics is cool, but like the ability to feel when you need to reload and stuff like that, like the force feedback triggers, like I thought that was rad.
I think that's why I'm looking forward to, in a way, just curious about Stray or Sifu. You know, the two games that are coming up. They're not the big titles
Not
like God of
splashy
War.
AAAs, yeah.
Stray is the cat one.
Yeah, the cat one.
You play as a cat, yeah.
But you know, with the tech that's in the PlayStation 5, just knowing how amazingly upgraded the experience is on the machine, that's why I'm looking forward to those two games as well. All right, so let's talk about. Can we talk about Horizon first?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Don't be sorry. It's a great game. Yeah.
Horizon, but we're all looking forward to Horizon.
We are.
Horizon Forbidden West is the sequel to
Horizon Zero
Dawn, and it's my personal all-time favorite PlayStation game. And for a long time, God of War 1, the first one, was actually that game, but Horizon has easily stolen my heart. And one of them was the narrative. The narrative was really surprising to me as I went along. Of course, having a female protagonist is great, but then I like how they've developed her throughout it. She's really independent. There's actually no love interest in it, and you didn't need one.
Yeah.
I know there's some fans who actually wish that she...
Eren.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that she didn't. She's just like, I got things to do, and dating you is not one of them.
Right.
And of course, the gameplay mechanics. So I thought I might not be into it because of all the machines that were involved. I thought it would be more satisfying to have more human interaction, but actually the machine and the world building in that, seeing, where was she? In Colorado. She's somewhere in like the West Coast and like near the Rockies, and just seeing like what we know and seeing this post-apocalyptic world as it went along was amazing. It's beautiful. It's still beautiful. I'm going to replay it on the PlayStation 5 before the February release of Forbidden West. But on top of that, the gameplay mechanics is what I really liked about it. It's first and foremost an archery game. Mm-hmm. And the developers have taken a lot of time to make it very satisfying. You know, you guys have played all sorts of like from like Breath of the Wild to any game with archery, Ghost of Tsushima. But the moments that they decide to kind of zoom in on and pause and feel that tension before you release, that the sound effects, the sound design of it is really what makes it amazing. The components that like blast off machines, like the parts that blast off, that makes every single hit worth it. And it makes you really want to get that perfect shot. So it's not just about headshots, which I think a lot of other games are like that. So this is differentiated in that way.
I mean, it's one of the PS5, is that one of the heavyweights. Yeah. I was kind of sad it didn't come out in 2021, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. I actually wanted to say a little bit about the prequel. No, I mean the original game, Zero Dawn. Like, it wasn't, when it came out, it wasn't a huge hit in the way that God of War, has like 15, 20 years legacy that everyone wants to play. But Horizon was a new IP from Guerrilla Games that created Killzone, so no one expected it. And I remember trying to tout it to friends and say, hey, this game is great. It's post-apocalyptic because humanity has been wiped out and they've re-emerged with robot dinosaurs. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But it sounds gimmicky, but actually when you play, the story, like you said, the mechanics, I was blown away. It's easily one of the best games I've ever played. Easily.
I think it's also just beautiful. Art in games matters a lot. I think it really, you can say the storyline or the game mechanics are super important, but it needs to look beautiful in this day and age. Okay, so some background on Horizon Forbidden West, for those of you who aren't aware or are aware. It's a very different setting than the previous game. We were in Colorado, like we mentioned. There's
deserts.
You even going to the mountains in the DLC,
Yep.
in the wintry landscape in the mountains. But now Forbidden West, I suspect it's very tropical looking, so I'm guessing it's California or like the West Coast.
San
further west.
Francisco, Utah, if not wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So further west, because there is definitely ocean that you see. And organic matter, based on the trailer, we can see that organic matter, like plants and animals, are dying to some sort of corruption, or they call it the Red Blight. The Forbidden West is called Plainsong. So they're completely new areas to explore. There are a lot of details that have been included in the trailer. One thing that just caught my eye immediately was the first sequence of scenes is that she's swimming, she's diving, which is also like, oh my god, she's diving, she's underwater. You can see what's the name of the croc?
Snapmaw?
Yeah, the snap ball, like just swimming over her. And it's just like a whole new world in there. There's this whole marine biome that you can explore. There's ruins that looks like you can probably go into the ruins and find cool loot there. I don't know if you get to fight underwater. I don't think so, based on what I've heard. But just that alone is beautiful and a whole new element to the game. This game is also a little bit different than the last one. So I was saying that I liked her independence. I liked that she had no love interest, but they want to make this game different, which I do appreciate. She seems like she's going to be less lonely in this one. She's going to have companions more often. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I do have faith that Guerrilla Games will have good character narratives, but she's going to be a lot less solo this game, it seems.
Cool.
Yeah. No opinion? Okay.
I think I'm interested to see a bit more of Aaron because he has an interesting story, Silence, and personally, I want to see the development of Talana. It's the Sunhawk.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be really cool. I don't know how they could play off each other. Would it be like because I think in the previous game, there were some parts where she had like partner missions, but you don't have any control over the other player, and the AI is pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see like how you can use like group tactics or so on to take out groups of enemies, especially the larger ones which look really intimidating. So we'll see.
I'm all for like the different traversal things. Like one of my biggest gripes was I played Forbidden West. I think
Zero Dawn.
Sorry, I played Zero Dawn after Zelda, like Breath of the Wild. And my frustration was that like you'd get stuck on things like, oh no, a rock.
You can't climb anything.
It's like, you can't go here.
Yes.
So the introduction of a glider and it does borrow from Breath of the Wild, but that was a really fun part of Breath of the Wild. The ability to like jump off a cliff and not die, and just go to places a little bit further and extending that traversal to make it feel a bit more free.
Yeah, and I read up before this episode. I didn't know this either. So in the previous game, like you said, it's like you need the tribal handholds.
Yeah.
But in this new game, it's free climbing.
Oh,
so that's
sweet.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's a whole new element.
Yep.
So we're talking about
It's the
water.
verticality, yeah.
The verticality. You're like Tarzan or Spider-Man, the way she uses, they call it a polecaster.
Yeah.
And she's just zipping around in the sky now. And that's just, there's just so much more depth going into it.
So like bringing that into potentially combat and stuff as well. Like you're talking about the different combat mechanics of Zero Dawn, and imagining, taking down all those huge dinosaurs or those huge machines, but using the abilities from like, like the grapple hook and stuff like that, the pullcaster. I don't know. It just sounds like Aloy and then some. It's a huge upgrade on the same mechanic that's going to make it even cooler to play.
I think that's exactly it. There aren't... it's not a repeat of the previous game by any means. And even the spear, I think what this means is for the folks who just weren't into the archery for whatever reason, there are many, but yeah, so the people use spear the entire time, which it can be done, but you're very limited on movements. You can have add-ons to the spear now and have all these additional abilities. There's one called Valor Surge, for example. You basically add all these different attachments to do different things with it. It also seems like she's not the only one who can override machines now. Anyone in this next universe or this next chapter can seem to control them, especially this enemy tribe in the far west. What are they called? The
Tanakh?
Tanakh.
I think so.
Tanakh.
Tanakh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, in the trailer, the first thing you see is these people riding with like metal mammoths with a whole bunch of tribes people on it fighting her. And that's very different because in the previous games, you fought humans individually and the machines differently. You even like kind of, fish machines in to help you out. So this is a completely different dynamic altogether. So combat's gonna be very different. What do you guys think about the machines though? Okay, so in the previous one, there were all sorts of animals, strider, like horse-looking ones. You got
Cows.
hawk-looking ones. Yeah, rams. Did they have cows?
Yeah, oh gosh, it starts with B. Oh no, Bronco?
Broadhead.
No, broadheads. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, it's
more like
bulls.
oxen
Yeah,
or
ox.
bulls.
Yeah.
But dinosaurs were always cool. But this one seems like it's just dinosaurs. It's like there are more dinosaurs in like Jurassic Park in this. I don't know. How do you guys? You're really into machines and stuff. Do you like that?
I loved the concept of that every machine originally had a specific like role in rebuilding the world. And then you see them and how they now use their skills for combat, so it was interesting to see like the grazers or whatever with their like
Their
little
antelope, right?
and then they'll be drilling rocks and stuff like that, but then they use it as offensively.
Drill on you.
Exactly. Drill on you.
It's like a lawnmower
Exactly.
coming to life.
But I like the idea. It's like, oh, okay, there's a mammoth, it's a war elephant. But what was it used for originally, and like I love the lore and reading up about like, all of the functions, like the weak points or whatever, and what that was originally for is just, I could talk for a long time about the world,
I thought
world
the
building.
turtle was pretty cool. Like I saw that in the trailer, right?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the huge turtle was really, really cool.
I didn't see it.
I missed a
Did I
huge
see it?
turtle.
But the thing is, that's why I'm asking about the dinosaurs. What would I really hope they have a reason and not putting dinosaurs in because it's cool to have dinosaurs, which it is cool,
It's a
but
Jurassic Park.
but
They're just doing Jurassic Park. I mean,
there's a purpose.
tourism. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but okay. In my head, I'm not too sure, but it sounds like someone came in like 2013 or something and said, we're gonna make a game with robot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then the writer's like, oh no, we gotta figure this out.
How are we gonna
How does
do
it work
this?
narratively? Yeah.
Exactly, and I just hope it's not forced. I have faith. I hope there's a reason that they're dinosaurs.
The cool thing about Zero Dawn for me, as you kind of played through the game, it unfolded to show you how other civilizations kind of evolved. So this, and then the Frozen Wilds expansion, like again, we live peacefully with the dinosaurs, and now it's like, we use the dinosaurs for war.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a natural kind of evolution
Progression,
and progression to the story. So I have faith too.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be surprised. It's gonna be great. I believe it will live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
Fingers crossed. We
Yeah.
were let down so much in 2021.
I know.
I'm looking forward to it. You guys looking forward to that? Actually,
I was so hyped for it. No, I mean, I'm a big.
Did you finish Cyberpunk?
Not really. I'm almost there, but I was waiting for the PS5 version. I'm a huge CD Projekt Red fan. I love Witcher, so I had extremely high hopes for Cyberpunk. Let's leave it at that.
It's okay. I think we will leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that.
We've all come similar. Actually, Kim, we're not going to talk about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It's not worth talking about right now.
Let's talk about other things.
A game that I'm playing currently on the PlayStation 5 because I haven't finished it yet. I know is God of War.
It's almost a crime that you have not finished it.
I know,
4
but
years later.
I just really wanted to make sure I had the right amount of time to dedicate to it. I think I was spending so much time on Horizon replaying it that I just. Yeah. And then I went to Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know. I just didn't make time until now. And I'm sorry. And like I said, God of War, the very first one on PlayStation 2 was the game that sold me
PlayStation 2.
to PlayStation. Actually, it was God of War. And I remember just loving it, just bashing through things. But it seems like God of War 4, I know this is like old news at this point, is stepped it up with a completely more complex game, deeper narrative, beautiful gameplay. Now we're all looking forward to Ragnarok. I know you're especially passionate about it. You love Kratos.
Yes.
I just in the trailer, I haven't finished the game yet, so I know you boys are going to do your best not to like give any big spoilers.
So the big spoiler, I'm kidding. The thing is, I'm sorry.
Stop it. So Gareth is not going to talk about God of War. But I just saw some little things in it, like there were dog sledding. I saw he was riding like one of the magical stags. I don't know what they're called. It reminds me of Harry Potter though. But
yes.
thing
The
that
spirit.
The spirit.
Yeah,
thing.
the spirit stag. That was cool. Very cool.
And there was one line that that was interesting to me, and that was when he says, "Stop thinking like a father for a moment and think like a general." So to me, not having finished the fourth one yet, to me, I can only assume that Kratos evolves as a father, because right now he's in general mode in the beginning of the game. Anyway, so tell me your thoughts. Why is this the game you're looking forward to the most for 2022?
As much as I loved a lot of PS4 games. God of War 2018, the fourth one, is my favorite game of all time. Everywhere, every platform. I was blown away. I'm a big geek/nerd. Mythology close to my heart. So when I played the original God of Wars on my friend's PlayStation in the army camp, I was like, wow, this is great. This can't get any better. And then when I tried replaying, God of War 3, which at the time was the best in class, it was like, this story real campy, huh? It's like, I am Zeus, I will kill you. So it was great for its time, of course. When I played it, it was incredible. But I think they realized that their audience, Santa Monica realized that their audience had grown. Cory Barlog, they had a son, and he came back and said, what if Kratos has a son? And then, spoiler alert, wait, let me think. Nothing about that.
Close my ears, you just say it.
Oh, sorry, people here are closing their ears. But okay, I'll just call it the twist. We'll call it the twist. We're done.
Yeah,
the twist.
I really couldn't hear it.
But anyway, but the point is, I thought that everything from the recasting, and how much care they put into it, the motion capture is incredible. Like, I think it's a great cast. I'm really, really, really looking forward to the sequel. Let's see, I think everything from gameplay, story, the only slight critique I have, which everyone has, is in the fourth game, 2018, not enough enemy types.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a bit
I'm feeling that already.
Yeah,
I'm already feeling that.
I need more enemies. Like, ogres are nice, but you can give us more stuff.
Yeah. Oh, fun little random thing. Kim has witnessed this. When he's going to dark areas, you watch me play Last of Us too, and I'm super afraid of zombies.
Okay.
And when you're in dark places, and then you had like the ones that are kind of frozen, like the stone ones, and then like some of them come to life. It reminds me of freaking The Last of Us when they pop out of the wall, and I'm like he can hear me from the other room, like kind of like shouting, like for like God of War, like I'm like super.
It's really funny because Kratos is a shield.
Yeah.
So it's like, you'll see his thing and Kratos will be running and then he'll be like,
Shield.
and then she slowly walks around this like inanimate, you're meant to just like hit it,
Scraping.
It's like, ooh. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, it might come to life.
There's one point of appreciation that I wanted to bring up. So like, usually, in games, the typical things to look for are like, narrative, graphics, storyline, gameplay. But one thing that I really wanted to appreciate for God of War 2018 was the camera, right? The fact that there were no loading screens.
Yeah.
The no loading screens is crazy. It's so ambitious and crazy.
Yeah.
Not a single one. Not a single one.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a one shot, the entire thing. And I'm just thinking about it with my limited video experience. It's impossible.
No, it set the benchmark for sure.
So after that, I tried to play another game. I was like, what's up with the loading screens? Yeah.
Well, PlayStation 5 has like no loading time, to be fair.
Yep. No, but I mean like the fact that you kind of come out.
Exactly.
And there's a screen.
And so they I think God of War was not the first to do that, but it was followed up by Last of Us as well. But every time you traverse through a tunnel or every time you have to like crawl through a gap, that's the hide, because it's buffering all the next area.
Yep.
But
yeah, I think for all the games coming up this year, that's one thing. I expect that in most of the titles coming out, this sort of experience of ultra immersive.
Agreed.
Yeah. Did you have any opinion about God of War?
I mean, I'm just looking forward to it without spoiling too much. I I'm not as big of a fan. I didn't shave my head like Gareth did because of Kratos, but
I even got
I'm attacked.
I even got the line up. Yeah. Boy. I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, just from a narrative standpoint, watching the evolution of characters and seeing that as almost entertainment in its own right, that's always been a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Like and seeing, like everybody talks about their relationship and how you're sort of vested in
in that father-son relationship.
Yeah. What's his name? Atreus.
Yes. Boy. His name is just Boy.
But yeah, just seeing that kind of like evolve and beyond just evolving your characters with gear and stuff.
Yeah.
The back and forth in all of their little dialogue becomes that much more richer, and there's a few laughs in there. It's similar to Ellie and Joel in Last of Us.
Yeah, but in a fantastical Norse world.
Exactly.
And that's what really that's what's really close to my heart. I also have to say, the additions of Mimir and again the final twist. I just really want to see the story. I'm like dying.
Do you mind that it's not accurate to the mythology?
Great question. I know that they play fast and loose, and also they did with the previous ones where like no spoiler, it came out in 2010, right? Yeah. Where Kratos like straight up kill everybody. Goodbye Zeus, goodbye Hera, and everything. So the thing is, I actually really like it that it's different, because if you stick to those same narratives again and again, so I
predictable.
I really enjoyed that actually they took it and they contextualized it. Fast and loose is fine for me as long as it's satisfying.
Exactly.
And I'm really extremely excited to go head to head with Thor, Freya, and probably Odin, because this is the the end,
the climax.
Big guys.
Yeah.
The big guys. I know I want to talk about Elden Ring, but before that, let's talk about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Borderlands, like I mentioned, we had a lot of fun with that for a while. Tiny Tina is also voiced by the same voice actress, Ashley Birch, who voiced Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, which is crazy to me because the characters are vastly different.
She's reprising her role as well, so she'll be back in Wonderlands.
So she's just coming out with like two big. She's like in two games, like the lead and two games that we're looking forward to. So I'm also a fan of her in general. So Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, tell us about it, Kym.
Voice acting is a great place to start, because I think that there's Andy Samberg's in it as well.
What?
Andy Samberg, Wanda Sykes, couple of big names are going to be voicing it. So, Wonderlands follows the previous DLC, which is Assault on Dragon's Keep, and the idea behind that was that Tiny Tina, she's got this little fantastical world in her head. And you're kind of transported to that world, and it's a lot of D&D lore. So it's Dungeons and Dragons themed within the Borderlands world, which is already insane, So there's literally golden unicorns and spells and mage casters alongside all of the crazy weaponry that you get in Borderlands. It is okay, so that was a Borderlands 2 DLC. They've recently re-released it as a standalone for Wonderlands, but the premise of that DLC is that Tiny Tina, she's crazy, she's insane, she lost her parents when she was younger, and this is like a coping mechanism to escape that reality. So she's created this little world. So it's full of all this all of these tabletop tropes and whatnot. Wonderlands is a standalone game that is basically taking that formula and then just going with that all the way. So it's the first time in a Borderlands thing where you don't have to choose from a specific character. You actually create your own character, a la D&D. You choose from a bunch of different classes, but you can mix and match. So you can create your own thing. It's not all run and gun. So there's mage casters, there's a paladin with a huge hammer.
Nice.
And they've all got really stupid names, and looking at the way that they've presented it, it's just so over the top. It's chaotically fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. And a lot of the maps have that kind of vibe. They've got that tabletop vibe, giant spilled soda cans, you know, and I think there was a recent gameplay trailer where they show little characters. So it actually looks like you're actually able to play through a board game.
Okay.
I haven't really looked too much into that. I was looking more at the gameplay and stuff like that. But again, the gameplay is signature Borderlands. I really hope that, especially on the PS5, they fix the loading time issue, because Borderlands 3 had massive loading times.
Even
and it
on
was...
PS5?
I haven't tried it on PS5, to be fair.
Okay.
But even on the PS4 Pro, and I've got an SSD in my Pro, it was still kind of clunky, which was frustrating. But yeah, I mean, that's the down low of it. I wanted to ask, because you're not typically somebody that wants to run and gun.
Yeah.
And from a fantastical standpoint, is that something that you would be?
So I have to confess, I've never played any Borderlands. I think
Yeah.
you both of you were like, play Borderlands with us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was too busy with Ghost of Tsushima. So if it's the typical FPS, not so keen, or third person shooter, not so keen. But when you mention D&D, I think like the camera saw my eyes were lighting like, oh yes, you know, so that makes it really interesting. Yeah, I think given what you just said, I think I'm quite sold. I definitely want to give it a shot. Especially if we can play together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part about it is creating a party and going off into the world and questing, basically.
That sounds incredible. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. The one thing, if I have any complaint about console or maybe PlayStation, it's not really a complaint. It's just like a different purpose, how I use PC versus my PlayStation. The multiplayer aspects. You know, when you come over, we play Diablo 3 with you and your fiance.
Yep.
Fiance, yeah.
It's like what's it called? Couch co-op, yeah.
Yeah, and it's super fun. And I want more options than just, I don't know, Overcooked.
Yep.
So I think this is great to have a multiplayer aspect. You know, we played Ghost of Tsushima together. We played a couple other games, but I like the more options, the better. I love the art in Borderlands. I love Tiny Tina as a character. I like this new element of it, because Borderlands, it's not like they're stopping Borderlands. Borderlands will continue, and I enjoy that in itself. But this, different type of gameplay, I'm really looking forward to that. It's definitely a game I'm looking forward to as well. We'll definitely be playing it together. We'll probably stream it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. So, other games are coming out. We mentioned Sifu, which is coming out in February, very soon, actually.
Lots of February releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know how we're going to have time to play. We're going to have to pick and choose.
We'll fall sick.
Yeah, we're going to be sick all of February. Yeah, so it's a beat 'em up action adventure game by this French developer, Slow Clap. It's third person action game, and every time you die, you age. Yeah. So the only real enemy against you is time.
How poetic.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a straight up martial arts game, and I think it looks super fun. Something I just want to try out. I hope it's not going to be $80 or anything though.
It will be.
It's a AAA.
It will be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would pay $80 though.
Yeah. For the love of martial arts, taekwondo.
Okay, well, I'll try the other games first, the games that we just talked about. Elden Ring is also coming out really soon.
Elden Ring, yes.
All right, this is definitely your thing.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. Fighting words.
And now we are going to, this is a fighting episode.
But
now.
please, no, I'm curious.
Yeah,
Sell me. Sell it to me.
So, I had a PS1 and I didn't game much, and then I had a PS4. So the first game that PlayStation gave me at the time was Bloodborne. And I remember saying that, I'm a casual gamer, Bloodborne, I don't know what it is, no idea. Then they said, just try it. And because of that game, I became really hardcore. It was so difficult and so challenging. I remember coming back after work, I get home at 8, I won't stop playing until 1.
Doesn't that stress you out? You just came home from a long day at work, and then now you're playing this impossible game.
A really stressful game. Yeah, but I love it. I love every minute of it. There were some bosses that took I can't remember the name. It starts with E. That the slug-looking boss that took me 30 tries. It was so painful, but I loved it. The world, the lore, the action, and the fact that Bloodborne was a faster paced Dark Souls, and it had this Victorian setting. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Of course, it has aged a little bit because it came out in 2015, but it's still beautiful on the PS5. So later on, we played. I also played the Game of the Year 2019, which was Sekiro. So I like that.
Nice.
Summarize. It was great before Ghost of Tsushima. It's still solid, because again, they have that fantastical setting, kind of really dark, half mythological stuff, while also being ridiculously difficult. So Elden Ring kind of like, I think, takes the best of that, also because of the input from the famous George R.R. Martin. So yeah, I'm a big Game of Thrones buff. It's like I'm a fan of everything.
I just realized your Valorant character that you named, by the way, it's a combination of Witcher and Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking, I was like, oh, Geralt Snow. Aww.
Yeah. I was just trying to find something interesting. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So big Game of Thrones fan. I wish there was a Game of Thrones game that was in that kind of love, but probably, licensing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think, Elden Ring is set to have all those nice things to put together. So a fantastic score from Yuka Kitamura, who's done a lot of the music previously. Open world, a massive open world that you can actually choose where to go. You can play with friends, you can summon stuff, and I'm just crazy about it. Like when the trailer came out like years and years ago, right, it's like, oh, the Elden Ring. It looked a little bit Lord of the Ringsy, but I'm really hyped. I'm definitely gonna play it.
The thing that draws me to all of those games is the art. Again, it's just beautiful.
It's a Miyazaki game, man.
Yeah. It's gorgeous, and I think that alone has enough of my attention. But there's just so many games I must pick and choose what to play. Yep. I watched the trailer for it. I will be trying out. Actually, I will try Elden Ring. The character creation segment. Did you see any of the previews for that? It's really nice.
Not sure.
It was really good
the detail,
previously.
right?
Yeah,
the detail.
Yeah. And they're good looking now. You have options to not have like ugly looking characters. I don't know. I'm one of those people who spend like 3 hours on character creation.
But you end up looking at them from the back.
I know, but it's like Cyberpunk.
It's like Skyrim.
Yeah.
You spend like an hour doing your face, and then it's like, helmet on.
Yeah. So I think From Software games is always about the bosses, right? And the fact that I saw in the trailer that you fight a freaking dragon, not.
Oh my god!
Because in Sekiro you fight
dragons.
Stop it! But it's dope.
Okay, fair enough.
And there's magic, like real legit.
I'll watch you play.
Fine.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll take it.
We all stream now, so you can watch Gareth stream.
I'll watch you play on stream while I'm doing something else.
So sad. No, but I think like I'm looking forward to like games we can play together. So that'd be great. From Software, I don't know, like for them they have this unlike, I thought Ghost of Tsushima had a fantastic multiplayer system where you come to a lobby, play a mission together. For From Software, for example, for Bloodborne, and it's typical of their development style, it'll be like, oh, let me acquire this resource, like a bell or whatever or insight from killing a boss, and then I'll spend that to summon a player. So I've been doing it with our other summoners person, Adam. It's painful that the fact that you need to
you have to get something to play together.
I'm not a fan of that. Yeah.
I don't know why they do that.
I think it's because if you play throughout as a two player, the difficulty doesn't scale. So it's like easy mode. But I think they should have that so that it's more accessible. It's more accessible. Yeah.
It's also just more fun.
Yeah. It's so much more fun when I play with friends. Yeah.
They're purposely making it not fun.
Sadly. I guess it's for the challenge, right? Like,
no, it's true.
It's like, the Miyazaki style, like
make this game not fun. Make it impossible to beat. You can't play with your friends. You have to be alone and sad. But
maybe
it's
you have to be
beautiful.
like slightly masochistic.
Yeah,
no, but I have to say,
it is.
Like, I guess it's for people. Maybe when I was younger, I had more time, so I was able to
That's exactly it.
Yeah, do 30 attempts. But now that I'm older, full-time work, it's a bit tougher, I must admit. But when I think back on some of those like amazingly designed boss fights, the pit, the boss, and then like I remember in Sekiro there's this one amazing boss fight where you fight this giant gorilla, it finally dies, you slice out its head, it's like, yeah, you're done. Boom, it comes back to life because it has this centipede. So you have to kill it 2 more times. Oh man.
But I mean that's the beauty of Souls-like games, and the achievement and that feeling that you've accomplished something. Yes, exactly. I assume is why you keep going. No, only because, like you said, like
I know
if I was younger and I had more time, this would be my jam. But
I understand. Yeah,
I feel like these days, if I've got an hour to spend and then I spend it an hour on a boss
Losing.
fight
Yeah.
and I didn't get anywhere, it's
Yeah.
like, wow, I just wasted that whole time.
I get you. I actually, like, I guess because of Bloodborne and Sekiro, the gameplay is pretty quick.
Yeah.
So like you can get an attempt out, or and kill the boss in like 2 or 3 minutes. But I remember the one that really got me feeling that way was when I played Final Fantasy 7.
Right.
And then like the house,
yeah.
boss, and then I was doing 1 damage to it.
Right.
I was like,
It's like, why?
it was an hour-long boss fight. My thumbs were like after this,
Callous,
it was
blistered.
no. I had claws for the day. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we digress.
That's
No, I
hilarious.
mean, I think there's a lot to look forward to, or at least one solid title that each of us are looking forward to. There are so many more games coming out. There's like Hogwarts Legacy is finally coming out. I don't know. Luke from the studio here mentioned Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2, I think. Yeah.
So there are a lot of games that are coming out. I'm looking forward to them. I think PlayStation's doing cool stuff. With that, I think we're going to wrap up this episode. Yep. This is the very first episode of 2022, and it is with PlayStation. Thanks for watching, guys, and welcome to the new year for new things and better things. That's it. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Gareth
you.
and Kym. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode of SupNerd. If you want to check out our other episodes, you can follow or subscribe to us on Listen, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. And if you want to get in touch with us, send some feedback, some episode recommendations, or if you just want to say hello, drop us, slide into our DMs on Instagram at supnerd.tv, or myself at Victoria Cheng, or Gareth Fernandez, or Kimochi on Instagram. Don't forget as well that there is a video version of this show available on YouTube and MeWatch. Links are in the episode episode description. It's links down here. Click. This podcast is supported by Mediacorp. Once again, I'm Victoria Cheng, and see you later, nerds.
Bye. Links down here. Click.
Yeah, links. Click.